Twins need a win today to avoid a sweep at the hands of the visiting Texas Rangers. Texas has scored 17 runs in winning the first 2 games. The Twins will send Jose Berrios to the mound today. Their ace trying to avoid the sweep against former Twin veteran right-hander Bartolo Colon. 4 wins this year. He won 5 games in 15 starts for the Twins a season ago. Welcome to Target Field with Justin Morneau. I'm Anthony LaPanta. All eyes will be on the pitching matchup here this afternoon, but there will be a few sneaking a peek at Adrian Beltre, who 20 years ago today made his major league debut. Last night against the Twins, he picked up 3 hits, including a home run, pushing him over 3,100 career hits, and the career home run total to 466. Twins have seen enough of him throughout his career. Yeah, he's a guy that can beat you in so many ways. He's out there. You saw it with the single up the middle. You see it with the homer in the bullpen. I mean, you don't play as long as he has with being just a one-dimensional player. I mean, he does that on the defensive side of the ball. He runs the bases hard. You saw the infield hit yesterday. I mean, he can do a little bit of everything and beat you in so many ways, and then he makes everyone around him better. He enjoys the game. He's a professional. He shows up. He works. He does his job. He sets the tone for everyone in that clubhouse, and he's so important, and we've definitely seen enough of him here, and I think he's comfortable in this ballpark. So see how Berrios can control him today, keep him off the bases, keep him in the ballpark, and trying to find a formula to beat this Texas Rangers ball club. Beltre's home run in yesterday's game left a couple of very significant names behind him on the all-time home run list. For more on his career climb, we check in with Kevin Gord.
Yeah, what an anniversary. 20 years ago, as you mentioned, to the day, 1998 on this date with the Dodgers. This guy broke into the league, and he's been good ever since. And the offensive numbers are what we're talking about right now. They're incredible. 3,100 plus hits is amazing, but the defensive side is what gets overlooked. 5 gold gloves, 2 of those platinum gloves. The guy is unbelievable in the infield, and again, 20 years of playing at a high level is something not many can claim. 3,000 hits, 3 times this guy's hit for the cycle, which ties an all-time record. Another guy that knows a little bit something about longevity is the Twins manager, Paul Mauldin. We asked him about the respect he has for this type of career.
It takes that, the inner part of yourself that needs to maintain that passion that you enjoy the game. A part of a lot of people in that stage of the game, you're asking yourself, how much do I still really want this? You don't want to be a hanger-on for whatever other motivation. It's, there should be some fulfillment about what the game still brings you.
Well, the mentor meets the future star. Bartolo Colon and Jose Berrios were teammates. He was teaching the youngster. Now we'll see if the youngster can teach him right back. Dick Kramer and Jack Morris with more on the matchup on the mound.
digital world. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by Northland Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today.
The homestand got off to such a promising start, and today it comes to a close, and unfortunately the best the Twins can hope for is a 500 homestand as they hope to win the final game with the Texas Rangers. And good Sunday afternoon to you from Target Field. Dick Bramer along with Jack Morris. Interesting pitching matchup. It's not a father-son game, but it could be. Bartolo Colon going for the Texas Rangers. Of course, he pitched for the Twins last year, and he's doing just fine now for the Rangers.
Yeah, and I'm sure all the Twins players are kind of excited in their own right to face him today. He was their teammate last year, and he came over and I think had a very good impact on a lot of the players here. He showed that an older guy can still play and compete. He showed a lot of poise out there on mound, and ironically, he probably helped the guy he's going to face today in a young Jose Berrios. It should be a fun one to watch as the old-timer pitches against the young kid.
Of course, 20 years ago, he was a fireballing right-hander for the Cleveland Indians. He's had really good success against the Twins. We'll see what happens here this afternoon. And a lot of what happens here this afternoon will depend on Jose Berrios and his ability to put together another good start at the end of a good run of starts.
Well, he's been pitching very well, and I think what he's learning is how to limit damage control. In the last few games, he's had a pitch out of the stretch, but over his last 7 starts, you see what he has done. A 4-1 record, 2.34 ERA. He has been outstanding this year. He's emerging as the ace of the staff without question, and he's doing it because he's learning how to manage a game while the game goes on. He's not out there what I call overthrowing early. He knows what he has to do to win a game.
Part of the job description for a staff ace is to end losing streaks before they get out of hand. That'll be the task at hand for Jose Berrios in the series finale this afternoon.
Fastball.
Throws him.
Swing and a miss. And right down the middle.
He has been on some kind of roll, in fact, one of the best in baseball.
And he chases upstairs. Swung on and missed. Got him. 3 in a row. 96 miles per hour. Really good night for Jose Berrios. And the Twins are counting on Berrios to get them back in the win column. 2 impressive wins against the Red Sox to start the homestand, and then 3 straight losses now that have followed. And we have cloudy skies here and a little chance of rain, but they say we should be able to play through it. And Jeff Bannister's had his team whipsaw back and forth here with a 7-game losing streak followed immediately by a 7-game winning streak. And the Menards batting order has Shin-Soo Choo, followed by Jurickson Profar, Nomar Mazara, Adrian Beltre, Rougned Odor, Joey Gallo, Isaiah Kiner Falefa, Ronald Guzman, and Delino DeShields. And Choo is in the box. Here we go. First pitch driven to the gap in left center field. Off the very top of the wall, and Choo goes to second base with a first pitch double. That almost cleared the wall into the bullpen.
Tom Kelly always talked about be ready for the first pitch. Well, Choo showed he was. He got an elevated fastball out over the plate, and he barreled it up. So Berrios gonna have to pitch out of the stretch after one pitch.
Fastball near the outside edge, and it hit inches from clearing the wall. So just like that, runner in scoring position, nobody out, and Jurickson Profar. And Profar goes after the first pitch, but misses.
Today's starting pitcher stats are brought to you by Home Furniture. Jose Berrios making his 16th start of the season. He's been very, very good. He's learning how to pitch through adversity. His last couple outings in particular, but he's going to have to face that right here in the first inning.
Reaching back for a fastball, getting another swing and a miss, 0-2. Yeah, going back to Berrios' start against the Cardinals here in mid-May, he has either won the ball game or given the Twins a really good chance to win. 7 good ones in a row.
Yeah, he's coming off a no decision his last time out, but he kept the team within reach in a game that the Twins eventually did win.
Up high, and it's 1-2. That was against the Red Sox. And Berrios, of course, with the ability to strike a batter out. 96 innings, 97 strikeouts. Got him over the inside corner, and that's the first out of the inning. Twins out in the field have Kepler in center, Rosario in left, Robbie Grossman in right. And an infield of Escobar, Adrianza, Dozier, and Mauer, and Bobby Wilson behind the plate. You had that ability, and it probably bailed you out of more situations than you'd care to admit, but the ability to strike a batter out when you need to strike him out is a wonderful arrow to have in your quiver.
No question about it. And you know, for me, it was knowing when you needed the strikeout. You know, a lot of guys could start the game and want to get on a roll, maybe bust that 10-11 strikeouts per game type thing, and that's all fine, but it's really when you need strikeouts that you have to be able to have a swing and miss pitch. Berrios has a couple of them, and you know, when he goes in a situation that he needs one, he's able to reach back and find something special.
A couple of first pitch fastballs for strikes, and now a breaking ball on a first pitch to Mazara for a called strike. Pick off second, and Adrianza says, take a look. He may have gotten his spikes between the runner and the bag. That's the one hope I think the Twins have, and they will take a look in the video room.
Well, quick move by Berrios.
I don't think there's enough, although you could see when Adrianza lifted the glove that he also lifted up Choo's finger. There will be no first inning challenge. There would have to be overwhelming evidence to risk losing the challenge. We've seen the Twins do more and more of that with a runner at second.
Well, it's a timing play between the shortstop and the pitcher. We call it the daylight play. Usually they flash a glove just as they break past the base runner, and that's a sign for the pitcher to wheel and turn. And there has to be enough daylight between the runner and the bag for that shortstop to see that there could be a chance for a play to work.
1-1 to Mazara. Pulled foul. We also saw one a couple weeks ago where the signal appeared to come from the catcher, with the pitcher not even looking at the runner, but the catcher gives a sign, and then the pitcher wheels and throws.
Yeah, a lot of times what you'll do is you'll take an initial look at the runner and then never look at him again. And what the catcher does is he drops his glove. And when he drops his glove, that's the same kind of indication that the shortstop gives an open glove. You just wheel and turn. Shortstop's got to see it too. You've got to make sure everybody sees and knows that you're on the same play.
Otherwise, the throw goes into center field.
Yeah.
1-2. And a little looper to left, and it's hit at Rosario, and that is out number 2. And now Adrian Beltre.
So again, Berrios getting 2 quick outs after a leadoff double, and now he's got the toughest guy at the plate. And this is the guy you don't want to beat you. If you're a pitcher and you start understanding a baseball game, and we talk about navigating through a game, well, this is a guy that you've watched during this series, and 3,100 hits. He's a potential, without question, Hall of Famer in my mind. Why would you want this guy to beat you? You got a guy that's been struggling at the plate on deck. Make sure you make great pitches to Beltre, and if you miss, so what? You pitch to Odor.
Odor is hitting 90 points less than Beltre. 1-0, a breaking ball, breaking in front of the plate. There's one that breaks low.
The trouble with every young pitcher is they come to the big leagues, they have some success. They all think they can get everybody out. And, you know, part of your status as you grow as a pitcher is being able to get the good hitters out. But you also have to understand the situations in the game that can hurt you. And he'll have other chances without a base runner to get Beltre out.
Fastball clips the inside corner, 2-1.
Bottom line is you just don't want to make a mistake to a really good hitter. You don't want to make mistakes anyway, but especially to the good hitters.
Well, to your point, I mean, here he's done a nice job getting the first and second outs right after the double, and all that goes out the window if you make a mistake here.
Correct.
Three and one with a base open and Odor on deck. Ground ball, base hit to left. Rosario comes up firing, and that shoulder, which has been so troublesome, still respected enough to where they held the runner Chu at third base.
3-1 count. I believe it's a fastball down and in, and Beltre just opens up and hits the ball hard, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. He got the ground ball he was hoping for, but the ball is too much of the plate right there, and Rosario's going to have to throw a baseball. I know the Twins would rather not see him have to do that, but he holds Chu at third base anyhow.
Here's Odor, a trip to the mound by Garver. Or Wilson, I should say, but I haven't seen one charged against the Twins. I thought he went to the mound. Maybe he just went to the edge of the dirt to give the first and third catcher signals. So no charged trip to the mound. Runners on the corners, 2 down. And Odor takes outside, ball 1.
Have we seen a situation at all this year where that's come into play? I mean, we make a big deal out of it.
There was a game a couple weeks ago, and I want to say in Cleveland.
Twins game.
Yeah, no,
Twins
game, I believe, in Cleveland. Was that last weekend?
Well, that's
where they were down to 1 or 2 going into the 8th inning.
I think the mere fact of just talking about it and bringing it into existence has really curtailed the amount of trips. I don't know as though a lot of them used to be necessary, and so the league just makes a new rule, and guess what happens? Nobody goes to the mound.
Well, but Gary Sanchez was one of the Yankees who, you know, a couple times an inning would go to the mound, and so they cleaned that up. And Bobby Wilson told me a week or so ago, you know, first inning, second inning, doesn't make any difference. You just want to make sure you have 2 left for the 8th and 9th innings.
Right.
2-0 to Odor, and now a strike, 2-1.
Well, this is where Berrios needs to end the inning. Pitch count at 17. We talked about Jeff Bannister believing that if his opposing pitcher can throw 20 pitches or more in the first inning, their odds of winning go way up.
Swing and a miss. 2-2. Odor chasing.
As long as he stays down and away, I think he's going to have a good chance with Odor. He has not shown at all in this series his willingness to go the other way with anything. So if you can keep it down and away, you'll take away his power. They're going to come in.
Breaking ball got him. If you come in with that pitch, as much as it bites and darts and down and into a left-handed batter, a good pitch to get an inning strikeout. Berrios didn't give up a first inning run or more, and Paul Molitor hoping that the Twins can finish the homestand 3-3. A really tough road trip coming up with a couple of really good ball clubs. The Cubs and the Brewers waiting for the Twins. Here's the Menards batting order. Joe Mauer, Eddie Rosario, Eduardo Escobar, Brian Dozier, Logan Morrison, Robbie Grossman, Max Kepler, A-Ray Adrianza, and Bobby Wilson. Facing former teammate Bartolo Colon. And the first pitch over for a strike.
And today's starting pitcher stats are brought to you by Home Furniture. Bartolo Colon, we could go about a half hour on all the things he's accomplished. The most recent, though, is passing Hall of Famer Juan Marichal to become the winningest Dominican-born pitcher, and he's only got one win to catch the all-time Latin American-born pitcher, my former teammate Dennis Martinez, who had 245 wins. So, been quite an incredible career for Colon. He's about 73 years old and still out there chunking the baseball.
Mauer bounces it, backhanded by Odor. He sets and fires one away. Back to our DQ combination, and Colon passed the Dominican dandy Juan Marichal on the Dominican win list in Major League Baseball, something that was very significant to Colon. Even when he was pitching for the Twins here last year, he said he wanted to pitch more until he had passed Marichal, and he's done that now. One down. Here's Eddie Rosario. Strike on the outside corner.
I thought it was very interesting for Paul Molitor's pregame comments on Beltre, but he could say the same thing about Colon. You know, you find some way to get.
Weak ground ball to the right side. Guzman to the bag. 2 down.
You find some way that you have to find a reward to still play the game, and for him that was his challenge. He wanted to be the all-time winningest pitcher from his country, and you know that was a motivation for him to stay in shape.
And now Eduardo Escobar went in the Texas clubhouse today, and Colon was there. And ordinarily, you know, I just leave the starting pitchers alone because sometimes they like to stay
different breed, are they?
Well, I think I learned that from you when you were here in 1991. Just stay away from Jack Morris.
Well,
on the
certain
day.
guys I wanted the heck away. Just stay the heck away from me.
Anyway, Colon saw me and We weren't real close last year, but we were very friendly to one another when he was with the Twins. He left his locker, came over to shake my hand, and I think when you've done something as long as he's done it, you probably are a little more at ease with everything.
Yeah, he's been through the routine of preparing for a start more than once.
1 strike to Escobar, now a foul back, 2 strikes, and he's threatening to finish this first inning with fewer than 10 pitches. Rangers out on the field. Chu is in left, to Shields in center, Mazzara in right, Beltre, Profar, Odor, Guzman the infielders, and Kiner Falefa behind the plate. Flipped foul, and it's still 0-2. Overall, his numbers last year, 7-14 with an ERA of 6.48. He was a little bit better than that for the Twins. He won 5 ball games, lost 6, and had an ERA of just over 5. But the Twins were, by baseball standards, paying him peanuts because the Braves had to eat the contract last year. Escobar swings and misses, and Colon has a 1-2-3 inning.
A nice visit with Paul Molitor today. Brian Dozier took time to walk in there and greet him and had a great time reconnecting with Terry Ryan. Eddie Rosario already looking forward to the road trip. He's been by Wrigley when he's been in Chicago, but never played there. Really looking forward to playing in that historic ballpark on the Twins' next road trip. And Paul Molitor talked about the bullpen yesterday getting stretched out with that short start by Odorizzi. One of the guys he pointed to was Matt McGill, guys. 3 1/3 innings. Molitor said he's doubtful today. McGill said he feels great, but understands he likely won't be back in the game. But what an effort yesterday.
Yeah, they actually scored some runs against him, which has been odd. Here's a towering pop-up to the right side. Mauer crosses the foul line. Almost hit the cloud bank here. 1 down. And that'll bring up Isaiah Kiner Falefa.
Oh, he's doing the catching today, giving Robinson Chirinos a day off, is Jeff Bannister.
Chirinos usually is the catcher for Cologne, but they're mixing it up a little bit. And the first inning was a pretty nice inning for the Rangers, just 10 pitches long. Utility player, getting a chance to catch a couple of times over the course of days on this road trip. Caught in Kansas City the other day. 1 strike. And now 2.
Berrios has a pretty good tempo usually. You know, when he's going good and doesn't have base runners on, he grabs that baseball, looks for the sign, and wants to throw another one. And sometimes I think he could maybe slow down his pace in the windup, but you know, it's been working for him, so you don't want to change what works. it definitely slows down when he's in the stretch, like all pitchers.
Breaking ball gets another strikeout. Same pitch he used to strike out Odor in the first inning. 2 away.
Third strikeout already for Jose.
I asked Paul Molitor today, as you look at the wave at the breaking ball, I asked Paul today whether there was any tangible or visible evidence that Berrios learned something from Cologne last year, and Paul said nothing visible, but he's sure that he did. How could you not learn something from watching a 44-year-old craftsman go about his craft? And I mentioned, well, we've seen Berrios at times, you know, the velocity isn't as high as it was last year, which sits at 93, and 95 and 96 is there, maybe even 97 when he needs it. And he said that's more a result of being around the game and being coached and being told, look, your stuff with the movement you have at 93 is plenty. And if you throw 95 all the time, it won't be as effective as throwing 93. And then when you do throw 95, it has a little extra behind it.
Yeah, those are all things that he's learned, obviously, but I would just add Paul doesn't speak Spanish, so he doesn't know every conversation Cologne and Berrios had last year.
Just missed the outside corner, 2-2.
One thing a veteran pitcher can help with a young guy is navigate. If they sit next to each other in a game and they're talking baseball, they can talk about pitch selection. They can talk about pick 2 guys in the lineup that you will not allow to beat you, things like that. Veterans know more than young hitters do, and you know, I know Cologne, he's a guy that the reason he's still pitching is because he's smart. You know, he's obviously had to adjust over a long career, but he still knows how to pitch and navigate through a lineup.
Fouled back. Cologne, for years, we saw it last year when he was pitching for the Twins, seems to be out there on the mound with a resting heart rate of 43 beats per minute, right? I mean, he's a really calm, cool guy, and Berrios isn't there yet. Berrios is still, you can just watch him, he's fidgety, and that's what works for him at this point.
Yeah, he gets in a little bit of a hurry, I think, and that's what I'm kind of referring to, is the more confidence he gets, the more he'll calm down.
Breaking balls like that should instill a lot of confidence.
Win today. Twins need to get this old timer in a stretch position, make him work a little bit, maybe even make him field his position, see if you can upset that standing heart rate a little bit. And Berrios just has to continue what he's doing. He's been on a roll. He's a kid that's kind of getting better through his experience, I think, and just stay the course. Keep doing what he's been doing.
1-0 to Brian Dozier. Now a high foul fly into the seats, 1-1. Cologne last year started the year with the Braves, of course, made 15 starts for the Twins. The most memorable one came in early August. It was his first win as a member of the Twins. It was a complete game win against the Texas Rangers. And it was the first time in 25 years Nolan Ryan was the last guy to pitch a complete game in the American League at the age of 44. Here's a fly to right. Long run for Mazzara. And he's still tracking it and gets there, one away. And that victory was against the Texas Rangers. So to turn an old phrase, it might have been a case of, if you can't beat them, have them join you, because the Rangers were one of the few teams that were interested in having Cologne, signing him to a minor league deal.
Yeah, and that just shows his desire to keep playing. At his age, to agree to a minor league deal and prove that he can make the big league team or have that opportunity to be patient enough for it. It says a lot about his determination.
Stroke to right, hit well, and off the wall. Morrison will get to first, and that's it. A bullet against the fence for the first Twins hit. Well, maybe some signs that Morrison is going to awaken from an early season slump. Home run last night and a rocket for a base hit here in the second.
Well, you got to hit those pitches. 86-mile-an-hour BP fastball down the middle, and he'd hit it.
And now Robbie Grossman will bat. And low, ball one.
Almost every fastball that Cologne throws is going to have movement, and it usually goes from the left-hander batter's box back across towards the right-hander's batter's box. It's a sinking type fastball.
Swing and miss. Didn't get off to a great start with the Twins last year. Then he put together 7 pretty good starts and then tailed off again towards the end. He was not on the playoff roster for the Twins. 1-1. Down and away, just missing 2-1, and that's what he will do. He will try to get you to expand the strike zone after getting strike one on you.
Yeah, he throws a couple soft ones that really run away, and then when he thinks he's going to have you reach out there and try to put it in play, he'll surprise you with a four-seamer inside the left-handed batters with something, whatever his best bolt is, 90, 91, 92.
Strike called, and it's 2-2. For the most part, over his last half dozen starts, Cologne's followed one really good start with one really bad start, and he's coming off a really good start. So we'll see if the Twins can follow the pattern. And Grossman takes a called third strike. And Grossman staying in the box, and I'm not sure what his concern here is. Did he ask for time? None was granted.
A little confusion there. Yeah, Bartolo Colon won his last start against the Royals, where he went 6 innings, gave up 9 hits.
Right in the bottom bar of the box. 2 down, and now Kepler. We talked about Cologne's remarkable game against Texas last year. I mean, how often do you see a 44-year-old pitcher? How often do you see any pitcher complete a game these days? 1-0 to Kepler.
He's the only guy over 40, I think.
And then he nearly outdid it earlier this year against, of all people, the Houston Astros. He took a perfect game into the 8th inning in Houston. And he didn't survive the 8th inning, but he pitched 7 2/3 innings against that lineup and gave up 1 hit.
Maybe there's a lesson to be learned there. Soft, softer, a little softer.
Pinpoint control. Kepler on an off-speed pitch taps it foul. Talking with Jeff Bannister before the game, asking him about Cologne. He says he's great because he gets a hitter like Kepler here, 1 and 2, and then he'll just get the hitter to expand the zone because naturally they don't want to take a called third strike, even though Grossman just did. Drifts outside, 2 and 2.
I put it this way. It's been a long time since major league hitters saw junior high pitchers, right? And that's kind of what we're talking about.
In terms of velocity.
Velocity, right. Yeah. He's throwing what you're going to see from kids that are about 15, 16 years old.
And another called third strike. Kepler and Grossman are out on strikes, and Twins get a hit from Morrison but leave him aboard.
Yesterday, and the story was pitcher Trevor Bauer. This guy has owned Detroit this year. 6 1/3, 11 strikeouts. Now 4-0 against the Tigers this year, with an ERA barely over 1. The Indians have won 6 straight. They're 7 up on Detroit, 8 up on the Twins, and they're at it again today, guys. Looking for their 7th in a row. They're up 6-2 again on the Tigers today.
Yeah, running wild on Matthew Boyd. And James McCann leading 6-2. Strike 1 to the number 9 batter, Delino to Shields. It'll be DeShields, Chu, and Profar in the Texas third. Strike on the outside corner, 0-2.
DeShields had quite an impact defensively in yesterday's game. I thought it might have been a turning point where he really robbed Joe Mauer of a potential extra base hit by making a great running catch to his right out in center field.
0-2 breaking ball, darting low, and it's 1-2. There's strike 3. And Berrios is on a roll. He's got 5 strikeouts, first time through the Texas batting order. 1 down. That'll bring up Chu.
Yeah, you got a short decision to make right there, whether the ball is going to stay in the zone or tail out of it. Kind of a check swing, defensive type swing there.
Leaves a hand looking like it might be a hanging breaking ball, and then it's a sailing fastball, and you nearly get it on the knuckles.
Yep. Kind of goes back to what we talked about yesterday. How do guys swing at that ball that's up at their eyes? Well, he's had a lot of strikeouts on his curveball.
Yeah.
So you kind of put it in the back of your mind, make the ball start up in the zone, and then it's too late by the time you have to decide, and you see a swing like that.
That's the voice of Justin Morneau. Has been nice enough to join us this weekend, and you'll be joining us in Chicago at the start of the road trip, right? Just you and I will be working. And Jack, why don't you just surprise us, fly into Chicago and drop in the middle innings?
You know, it beat the heck out of the studio, I can tell you that.
Shin-Soo Choo, the batter, with Choo hitting a double on the first pitch of the game, nearly clearing the wall in left field. There's a strike, 3-1. An important ball game for the Twins because the last 3 games have really turned sour on them after starting the homestand with back-to-back wins. 3-1. And there's strike 2, and it's the second time Choo wants to go to first base with a walk. And we'll see if Berrios tries to strike him out with that back foot breaking ball.
This is the last pitch. You saw that it was a strike.
And a fastball sailing up. Choo takes a walk with 1 away. And that'll bring up Jurix and Profar.
That's an interesting at bat to me, because people look at it and they go, okay, great, he walked. But to me, it looked like he was taken all the way on that 3-1 pitch. You get in a 3-1 count, you don't get too many of those a year. And those are the ones where my eyes lit up, and you're thinking, do some damage here. You're in an offensive count. Maybe he wasn't looking down and in or whatever he was. But to me, it looked like he was just taken the whole way. And he gets rewarded with a walk. But he doesn't steal a whole lot of bases. I'd rather see him try to hit a double on the 3-1 pitch instead of just stand up there and statue and ends up walking. Yes, it's a productive at bat, but he could have done more if he was aggressive in that offensive count, in my opinion.
Profar takes ball 1, asks for time, getting some signs.
Better at the plate was kind of in the middle of a little controversy yesterday. He got plunked 3 times by Twins pitchers, and there was a little chatter today from Twins manager Paul Molitor about what he saw. Second at bat, he was hit in the elbow, and it might have been a strike. And Paul was a little upset that the umpires didn't enforce the rule. It says the hitter's got to try to make an effort to get out of the way. He did not do that at all. And then on the very next pitch, with a 7-run lead, he stole second base. And that's what really bothered Paul. The fact that he said, I don't know if he was mad that he got hit, but he got hit because it was his own fault. And of course, then Jeff Bannister didn't really like what he saw, and there was a little chirping between the managers. But very rarely do we see Twins manager Paul Molitor upset with things like that, the unwritten rules of the game.
1-1 to Profar. Paul asked about the third plunking, said, well, we just wanted to give him another opportunity to steal a base.
I like that.
That one might cost him some money after that comment. If anyone was questioning whether it was on purpose or not. But
Berrios to Profar. Grounded foul. Berrios, of course, doesn't give up many base runners, and so the fact that he's only gotten 5 ground ball double plays might not be the most significant stat in the world, but he can get ground ball outs and would like to get one here. Profar was called out on strikes his first time up, and now he stands there again with 2 strikes and a ball. Foul back. Nice catch by the fan on the front row, the second level. Shaking his hand.
And gave the ball to the kid sitting behind.
Yeah,
there you go.
Nice. That's Minnesota nice right there. Even though he might be from North Dakota for all we know. 1-2. Breaking ball low. Wilson's done a really good job. There have been a couple pitches in the dirt with men on base, and Wilson smothered them all.
He's done a nice job of mixing his pitches with 2 strikes. He's elevated the fastball, then he'll back foot that breaking ball to the left-handed hitters. As a hitter sitting there watching on the bench, you're trying to figure out what his out pitch is, what his go-to pitch is that day, and he's using more than one, which makes it hard as a hitter.
There's a breaking ball and another strikeout, 2 down.
That's the one that he's been getting the swing and miss with the most. Good old-fashioned curveball, and he gets it underneath the hands of Profar there.
And he had him set up with that high fastball and ends up getting him out front. He sped him up and fouls the fastball back, and he's got that in the back of his mind. Okay, I don't want to get jammed here. I don't want to get beat with a fastball. And then all of a sudden he drops that A breaking ball in there. He's out front and gets his 6th strikeout already in this ball game.
Pitch count climbing near 50.
Yeah, ideally 15 an inning, and he's not quite through the 3rd, so you'd hope that he would have got through the 3rd with about 45. So it's slightly up, but when you have high strikeouts like he does, 1 walk in this game, 6 strikeouts, that adds to pitch count.
Bounder foul off the bat of Mazzara. Hit a fly ball to left his first time up.
The main thing is we saw 1 ball hit hard. That was Chu's leadoff double. Beltre, yeah, he got a clean hit to the left side.
A hot ground ball through the left side. Yeah.
It was hit hard enough where they couldn't send the runner, so
yeah,
decent contact.
1 strike to Mazzara. One and one.
What's amazing to me, Jose had a 1-2-3 second inning, but in the last 3 or 4 starts, he hasn't had a lot of low stress innings. Every inning that he's been pitching in the last few starts is got base runners. He's got to work out of jams. He's got to avoid, you know, that runner going 1st to 3rd or 2nd to home.
Like a straight change, get a swing and a miss to make it a pitcher's count 1 and 2. That's the pitch that Paul Molitor says is still developing for Berrios. It's a plus pitch now, but as he gains more confidence in it, if there's a plateau above where he's at right now, it'll be because of increased confidence in the changeup. And then the high fastball to finish him off. 3 strikeouts in the 3rd, a couple in the 2nd, a couple in the 1st. He's well on his way to a good outing in a scoreless game. Than that young man. Kids ages 3 to 5. Campers will learn the basics fundamentals of baseball, and each camper will receive a Tiny Twins t-shirt and Twins tickets. Learn more. Register today at twinsbaseball.com/training. Ray Adrianza is at the plate. He's taken strike 1 and he's staring at Adrian Beltre, who's in on the grass at 3rd. And taken low, 1-1.
It's the one part of the game when facing Bartolo Colon that I haven't quite understood is why more guys, and I know it's an kind of a lost art, but this guy doesn't move that well. Why aren't you bunting once in a while just to get his heart rate up? Just even if it's a foul ball.
Well, even to disrupt his rhythm, anything to get him moving around, get him thinking about it.
Nobody does it.
1-2 to Adrianza, who probably won't do it now with 2 strikes. Lifted foul, out of play.
Justin, when you look at Bartolo, you know, whether it's this time of his career, or, you know, obviously when he threw harder was a different situation, but what would be your game plan? How would you go about trying to have a game plan against a guy like him?
Well, you know the ball's going to sink. So most sinker ballers, my idea was I would just target the bottom of the baseball. So some guys will say make him get the ball up. Well, if the guy's throwing every pitch, you know, from your middle of your thigh down to your knee, at that height, and he's getting strikes, well, obviously that approach isn't working. So my thought was just trying to hit the bottom of the baseball. With you know, it was Masterson and Carmona. When he was Carmona in Cleveland, those two guys had two of the best sinkers in the game, and that was my only thought.
Out in front of the off-speed pitch, one away. Bring up Bobby Wilson.
Was it hard for you to stay back? I mean, obviously he doesn't throw in it. He torments you with off-speed stuff. Is that something that is easier for a veteran hitter than a younger kid?
Yeah, I think you can't get to the big leagues unless you can hit a fastball. And most of the pitchers in the minor leagues, the only pitch they can get over consistently is their fastball. As soon as they're able to throw their secondary and, you know, third pitch is over.
Ouch. Wilson loses the bat. Beltre catches the soft line drive, 2 down.
But as soon as their young pitchers learn how to throw those pitches over, they move up the ladder quite quickly, and you see them in the big leagues. So most of the guys in the minor leagues can only throw a fastball, so you learn how to hit a fastball and do that. And that's the pitch that gets thrown most of the time, so you have to be able to hit a fastball. But it takes a while before you have the confidence in an at-bat to let a fastball go if you're looking for an off-speed pitch and not feel like you missed something. If you had a plan, you had a reason to look for it, then it's okay to take a fastball for a strike. There's nothing wrong with that if you're looking off speed.
Mauer takes up and away at a ground ball to second his first time up.
There's other adjustments you can make. You can move closer to the plate because he likes to pitch away. He'd rather not get beat inside. He'll pitch inside for effect, but he's not going to live in there. So you either move closer to the plate, or the guy with the sinker, you just move up in the box.
2-0.
And you don't need to move up a foot. You can move up 4 inches. You know, the width of your foot, if you move up that, can be the difference between catching that ball before it sinks and hitting the top of the ball, or being able to square that ball up or center it up.
I was going to say, a guy like Cologne probably sees if you move a foot, and he'll just, you know,
throw it a little shorter.
Yeah, throw it a little shorter.
2-1 now to Mauer.
But there's guys that are just so set in their ways that they can't move, or they're not comfortable using a lighter bat or a heavier bat or something. You know, whenever we faced Burley, I'd take my BP bat up there, which was always an ounce heavier, because I knew he wasn't going to overwhelm me with velocity. So if I couldn't make the adjustment myself with my legs or my hands or whatever, I just got a heavier bat that slowed me down and allowed me to wait for that velocity. So sometimes you have to be creative if you're not successful a certain way. I mean,
adjust.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I mean, it's
Liner. A sinking line drive to a door. 3 up, 3 down for Cologne again in the third. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities.
by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. No score as we go to the fourth. Jose Berrios gave up a first pitch double. It's the only base runner to have reached second base. And now he'll face Beltre, Odor, and Gallo. Breaking ball, and Beltre dances out of the way and takes a strike.
2 hits allowed by Berrios, 1 to this guy right here. He's had a heck of a series for a veteran player.
And Beltre asks for time and signals to Berrios, hey, my bad.
Berrios now 8 for 13 in first pitch strikes.
Swing and a miss. 0-2. Twins will go to play Texas again in early September around Labor Day. And it's anybody's guess whether Beltre will still be with the team. He might be on a list that's rather lengthy of third basemen who might be moved. Josh Donaldson, Mike Moustakas, Beltre. Machado's more of a shortstop now, but if the team needed him at third base, I'm sure if they were contending that he'd be glad to make that switch. 1-2. Tap foul. And he cracked his bat in the process.
And that seems like, not that they need him, but it seems like the move that the Yankees always used to make is they bring in that veteran guy, that veteran piece that just kind of added to him, and all of a sudden you look up in the playoffs and you'd have a couple big hits, and like I said, there's not really a spot for him there, but it's interesting to see if he ends up somewhere, if he wants to go, and if that opportunity presents itself.
He's got that right. As we said, he's not a 10-5 guy, he's a 20-10 guy. He's been around a long time. But the Yankees, they've got Andujar at third base, so they're not going to supplant him. We saw Devers, who looks like an emerging good player for the Red Sox. Beltre would be a veteran upgrade at least.
Houston's got Breckman. There's a lot of teams with good, the teams that are going to be in postseason already have a pretty good lineup. But if you're Adrian Beltre, why wouldn't you want an opportunity to get a world championship ring at this point in your career? You're going to the Hall of Fame anyway. Go with the ring on.
And it may be one of those like August 31st moves where he'll agree to it because he might get 20 or 25 at bats the whole month of September, but hey, he's on a team that's 8 games up on September 1st or whatever. It's a pretty appealing choice to or position to be in.
2-2 to Beltre, and he pokes it foul.
Not to mention, when you have a no trade clause, there's some negotiation for cha-ching.
An extra year, perhaps.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting you brought that up, Justin. That's how the Twins got Don Baylor. He wasn't a July pickup. He was brought into the Twins in '87 at the end of August, having cleared waivers. 2-2. And a check swing, and Beltre, third time this series we've asked him, or we've seen him ask the first base umpire for the.
Did you ever do that?
No.
How do you even think that fast?
I don't know.
It's called being proactive, And he ends up coaxing a walk. A lot of 2-strike fouls there, and Beltre ends up at first base. Second walk issued by Berrios.
That was a professional at bat right there, kind of like what we see from Joe Mauer on a daily basis.
And now Rougned Odor.
Yeah, back to that trade deadline. That was when I got traded. It was in the August deadline, and
it was.
We were in Texas.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Yeah, so it happens. It's a weird thing to join a team in the middle of a pennant race.
And the Twins got Don Baylor for a pitcher by the name of Enrique Rios on August 31st of '87.
A young kid brought his glove, had to go 2 rows to his right, and he snagged it. Way to go, kid.
1 strike to Odor. And another foul. This one over the tarpon, out of play. 0-2. Well, the Rangers are in rebuild mode. When I was talking with Jeff Bannister this morning, he was remarking how they're playing really well now, 7 wins in a row, because they finally got some of their players back.
And Andrews has been a big difference. He missed quite a bit of time, and it seems like almost when he came back was when they really started to take off again.
And
It's a heck of a stop again by Wilson. Digging that out of the dirt.
That's a great job of pitching by Berrios right there. You make a hitter move his feet like that, you make him conscious that you're willing to come inside, you're willing to pitch inside. As a hitter, when you have that, you are forced to back off and jump out of the way like that. Now it's in your mind going, all right, I got to cover the inside part, the outside part. He's pitching up in the zone with the fastball. It's really hard to lock in on one location. And he's had really good stuff with 2 strikes. He's executed really well today.
1 and 2 after another nice block or catch by Wilson. Now high fastball, 2-2.
I've observed in this series that Odor has been hunting the ball in, and if you're a pitcher, and Berrios has been watching a couple games, so you know he's got to show him something different. But to your point, Justin, a guy that's looking for the ball in, you've got to make him move his feet, because that's the one that he's looking for. So you got to, you know, put in the back of his mind that it might keep running in on him. That's a pretty healthy swing right there on a ball that's middle half.
Yeah, he made a mistake on that pitch right there. He got away with one. But as a hitter, as a left-handed hitter, if I was looking to pull, and I was thinking fastball in, you want to be ready to catch up to the fastball in. You throw that slider that starts on the inner part of the plate and almost hits in the back foot. You get swings on that when guys are committed to hitting the ball on the inside part of the plate.
Pitch count really climbing for Berrios. Just inside with a fastball. It's a full count. He's thrown 67 pitches. He's only gotten 9 outs. And he's had a couple of deep counts here to start his 4th inning.
Yeah, this is an inning again that he's putting himself through a little stress. A leadoff walk to Beltre, and now a full count to Odor.
High fly, center field. Kepler is over. Can make the catch, 1 away. And that'll bring up Joey Gallo. There's some concern about Gallo's readiness to play today. He had to leave the ball game yesterday with a hamstring cramp, but back in the lineup today and in the DH spot. Anyway, when I was talking with Jeff Bannister, and he was talking about how they got Profar back and they got Andrus back, and that's really helped the lineup. And I couldn't help but think about Paul Molitor and his hopes of getting some of his key guys back. Now he will get his shortstop Jorge Polanco back here shortly. Polanco starting a rehab assignment today, playing in games, and of course it's anybody's guess, you know, when Byron Buxton, Miguel Sano will rejoin the team.
Hopefully when they're ready.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, but we don't know when that is, and that it's so much of that is up to the player himself.
Well, I mean, ready as far as timing, and because neither one of those guys have really looked like themselves at the plate at all this year.
Right.
Sano's strikeouts were, I mean, he's always been a guy that struck out, but you sacrifice the power. You're willing to take the home runs for the strikeouts, but when he's going through as rough a stretch as he was in the first part of the year, and Buxton not doing what he did in the second half and most of last year, you want to make sure they're right, they have the timing, and they get the confidence. So when they come back up here, they're going 100%, and they're able to take good at-bats every time up there.
Very high on an 0-2 pitch. In Sano's case, it seemed like all the strikeouts were identical, and so many of them were on check swing third strikes. Talking with Derek Falvey, and one of the things they're working diligently on, and Miguel's working diligently on it too down in Fort Myers, is leg strength. And when you look at Miguel in his uniform, and he's got like Bo Jackson type thighs, but yet with legs that big, one of the biggest concerns is the hamstring injury that preceded it. His legs weren't very strong. Replay brought to you by Ram.
It looked like Gallo must have been looking for something else there, because that was a middle in. That's a ball that he can't afford to take too often, because with his kind of power, he can hit that ball a long way. That's kind of in his wheelhouse.
Kiner Falefa will bat. Strike one.
You have to have pretty good stuff to lock guys up with a fastball down the middle, and that's what he just did. 94, picking up strikeout number 8.
And that was all those back foot sliders he's thrown. He's saying, okay, Gallo's standing there telling himself, don't chase that slider down and in, and then he sneaks that fastball in the inside part.
Nice block by Wilson. 1-1.
But to your point earlier, Justin, he's shown a variety of pitches, swing and miss pitches. 8 strikeouts, half of them curveballs, half of them fastballs.
Yeah, there's so many times you go up there, you go, okay, I'm getting fastballs early, and then the guy's going to go right to his breaking ball, and you kind of have a predictive plan. He's not very predictive today, so it's hard to lock in on anything.
Ball taken for a strike, 1-2. 75 pitches now for Berrios.
Yeah, you see the pitches by inning. The high here is this half inning. 23 already in the fourth.
How did Wilson block that? That ball landed deep into the left-handed batter's box.
Well, he called breaking ball, so he knows that if he's going to miss, it's going to be missing away.
You look at where he started and where he ended up making the catch.
And that's one of the reasons why I think Joe's been successful at first. As a catcher, you have all those balls in the dirt. You have to find a way to do it. Those hands transfer over there.
Sure they do. Gets low.
2-2. Beltre still at first after his leadoff walk. Got him with a breaking ball. 9 strikeouts through 4 innings. Berrios' career high is 11, and we're still scoreless at Target Field. Better part of 2 months now.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch them hit. It's hard to imagine where the Twins would be without those 2 guys in the lineup, with how hot they've been. And you see the confidence up there. You see him continuing to get better, which he's already one of the best hitters in the league. And every time he stands up there, you're just waiting for an extra base hit or something special to happen. It's fun to watch.
Home run and a 2-run double last night. He's got 50 runs batted in, and we're not halfway through the season. Escobar has 48 runs batted in. So as you looked ahead to the 2018 season, there's a base hit to center off the end of the bat. Rosario has a leadoff single. You thought, well, the Twins might have a couple of 100 RBI guys in the lineup. I don't know that anyone would have imagined it would be Rosario and Escobar.
Well, especially with, look at the replay here, ball off the plate. That's amazing. To me, that's a guy who's committed to, he knows Cologne's going to attack him away, so he's trying to cover the outside part of the plate. But there's not many guys that can get the barrel to that ball right there.
I don't know as though he has a great game plan. I just know he's gifted and he knows how to throw the hands at the ball, and somehow that equates to the barrel meeting the ball, and he's special in that regard. You know, the last guy that I remember so vividly is Rod Carew, and how he was just able to throw those hands out there all the time.
Here's Escobar.
And Rosario's doing it with a little discomfort in his throwing arm. Obviously, Escobar is feeling a little bit of the after effects of getting hit in the right elbow, especially batting right-handed. Talking to Paul Molitor today, he said that, you know, 3rd day now, 4th day, whatever it is, that that blood is starting to get through and out of his arm, and every day he should really feel quite a bit better as we go forward.
It's funny, you know, with how much time Escobar spent on the bench the last few years, there's no way he wants to be sitting over there when there's an opportunity for him to play.
1-0 to Escobar. Swing and a miss, 1-1. The swing just doesn't look as fluid as it did. His follow through seems out of balance. Now, whether that's because of the ball hitting him in the elbow, I don't know.
That last pitch looked like he tried to pull a ball and it sunk down and away, and
Yeah.
that usually doesn't work very well.
Right.
And when he's swinging well, he's not afraid to slap it to left center. You know, he's found the holes in the outfield everywhere, and there's quite a nice gap in left center right now. That's where he's got to be thinking.
Lifted foul into the seats. The team on this homestand is hitting, coming into the game today, only .203. So that the record is 2-3 is nothing short of stunning, because the lineup 1 through 9 in the 5 games hasn't done much at all. 1-2 to Escobar. Dozier on deck. Blocked, and now Rosario's caught at first. Another base running blunder, with Rosario taking 3 steps towards second, and he's the first out of the inning. Chirino's blocked most of it and hardly rolled away from him at all, and Rosario is out.
Kiner Falefa. Well, he gets caught. He thinks the ball's going to get by him, and he takes that 1 step, and then it's too late. You're caught in no man's land.
And it looked like he rolled on his left shoulder this time, right there. And been concerned about his throwing shoulder. It looked like the left shoulder took the brunt of the punishment on that play. 2-2. And of course, a base hit that follows.
A double.
And bounding to the wall, Escobar will go to second safely with another double. It almost always happens, it seems, and it seems like it almost always happens on the next pitch after an out is made on the bases. For Escobar, double number 33.
I was asking Paul Molitor today about base running and, you know, the troubles the Twins have had lately. He says, you know, guys tend to get in a panic mode, and they don't have to. And Rosario, we've seen it really all over his whole career. He's made some blunders base running. He was talking a little bit about Ryan Lamar and how he just can't slow things down. He gets on the bases and he wants to impress so much and take advantage and be aggressive, but you've got to know when to go too.
And I think what I mentioned contributed to that. This team isn't hitting. It's struggling to score runs. So I can imagine you're out on the bases and you're wanting to make something happen. Ground ball to third, and Escobar is flushed back to second base. Beltre with the play, 2 down.
Yeah, and you can't force the issue. You have to let the game. You have to let it happen. I think we saw it with Dozier get thrown out at second, trying to lead off the game with a double the other day. He hits a ball hard to left and is thinking, I got to get everyone going. I got to get us, you know, make an aggressive play. You're going to get everybody excited, and then all of a sudden you get thrown out by 10 feet, and you go, yeah, maybe I was better off at first base. But
yeah,
it's one of those things when you're not playing well, you're trying to do the little things right, but you end up forcing it, and then you make bad decisions because they're not natural, instinctive decisions.
Here's Morrison, lined to single off the wall and right, his first time up. A little chip shot, and it'll carry to the left fielder, Chu. Twins get a couple of hits, but don't score. On to the 5th. In a scoreless duel between the veteran Colon and the youngster Berrios. enjoying a cloudy summer day here at Target Field. No score. And Eddie Rosario, whatever happened at first base physically, he's back out in left field. And we go to the 5th inning. Ronald Guzman, Delino DeShields, and Shin-Soo Choo will bat. First pitch tap foul.
Sometimes physically you're hurt, and sometimes your pride's hurt.
Yeah. Well, it just looked like
and that hurts more.
The left shoulder, he just kind of rolled over on it. And so we're glad to see he's back out there. Berrios, as we mentioned at the end of the top of the 4th inning, his career high in strikeouts is 11. He's done that 3 times. Most recently, his 3rd start of the year against the White Sox. A pop-up, and Wilson tracks it and makes the play like he's made that catch about 5,000 times before. How were you on foul pop back in your catching days? Because to me, I never caught at any level. I would think that'd be a tough thing to do.
I was actually more comfortable behind the plate because most of the plays that are yours turn around and the ball's coming towards you. You know that. So the catcher, the ball with the spin on it, it starts sometimes over the screen and ends up, 5 feet towards the field. I don't know. I always told my second baseman, take whatever pop-ups you want.
Well, you didn't like him at first base.
I don't know. The ones behind me I had trouble with, and it wasn't until later in my career, Gardy said, "Don't let the ball get over your head." And if you think about it, when you put your glove up, if you put your glove up above your head, and if the ball's behind your glove, then the ball's probably already going to be over your head. So if you put your glove up and the ball's in front, then the ball, you're in the right spot on the pop-up. It was the weirdest thing for me.
But it worked?
I mean, if you saw me catch pop-ups in Oakland, it didn't. But that was the day game where hey, Gardy, you think it might be a good DH day? I don't know. For some about Oakland, it was hard for me to see the ball off the bat. It would get over my head, and there was 3 miles of foul ground there. And
God, you gotta love a place like
2
that.
and 2.
If you're a pitcher, yeah. That's why there's been no batting champions in Oakland.
Right. That's one of the reasons. You bet it is.
You get 10 extra outs on foul balls a year is huge.
Just the way it should be.
There's a breaking ball and a strike 3. Number 10. Second time that DeShields has gone down on strikes. First time looking. And now Shin-Soo Choo, who almost hit a home run on the first pitch of the game. Having a nice bounce back year now that he's healthy. He's still a productive player. 37 straight games that he's reached.
That's amazing.
He doesn't really fit the profile of a member of a rebuilding team, but as we said, I think on Friday, he is still owed $50 million. Line to Mauer, and it's a 1-2-3-5, and Choo is out number 3 on just the second pitch thrown by Berrios. A limited number of UND theme night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and green and black Twins cap. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/UND or call 800-33-TWINS. Here's Robbie Grossman. First pitch driven to center. DeShields going back, still going back, won't get there, and it hits high off the wall. And Grossman has a first pitch double to begin the bottom of the fifth.
That's a nice job by Robbie Grossman right there. It looked like he wasn't trying to do too much. If he gets pull happy or he's thinking pull homer right there, he doesn't stay on the ball the way he did. And that ball was driven. You like to see that. Right down the middle. You know Cologne's trying to work ahead. You know he's trying to throw his fastball. You know it's got some sink on it. You know you've seen him now. We should see better at bats coming out from these Twins hitters now.
Here's Kepler, called out on strikes his first time up. Off the plate, ball one.
And what he's done is he's navigated through 4 innings, and now he's in the 5th inning. 6th inning is really all that Jeff Bannister would want out of him. We saw Giovanni Gallardo pitch 5 1/3. They were happy with that. And for a veteran guy like this to get him through 5, 6 innings without a run, man, that's tip your hat to him. That's exactly what you want him to do.
Twins started the 4th inning with a single and a double, but Rosario got picked off first. See what they can do with his leadoff double in the 5th. 1-1. Popped up wide of third, and Beltre makes the play. The assignment was to at least get Grossman to third base, and a little pop-up on the other side of the diamond is the first out. And now A-Ray Adrianza.
For you young kids that are watching, you know, you say to yourself, Dad, I pitch as hard as this guy does. But what the key to his success, the reason he's had so many wins in the big leagues and is still pitching at this age, is because he's got movement in the zone. The ball is never straight, and that's how you miss barrels of the bat and get little fly balls like you just saw.
Driven to deep center field. Going back is DeShields. At the track, he makes the catch. And Grossman runs hard to third base on a deep fly ball to the deepest part of the park, 2 away.
And when you're going good, that's a sac fly because the guy in front of you did his job and got the runner over. In a tight game like that,
yep,
it's those things that add up throughout the course of a ball game where you can score 1 run here, score 1 run there, and all of a sudden you've got a comfortable lead.
I'm glad you mentioned that. That is the key. The reason the Twins aren't winning close ball games, the little things. Max Kepler failed to get Robbie Grossman to third base, and that would have been a sac fly right there.
Now they need something from Wilson, and he takes strike 1. The Twins are 3-13 in 1-run games. So next time somebody who played the game tells you that the little things make all the difference in the world, believe them, because this Twins team would be at or above the 500 mark by just simply doing the little thing. There's a ball flared to left, and that'll drop for a RBI single for Wilson. And if you go to the Twins Pro Shop and you look in the bat bin, and there's a bat in 4 pieces that says Bobby Wilson on it, that's the one he used on that base hit. A cracked bat. He didn't hit it hard at all, but it dropped for a hit.
Sometimes it's not how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it. That thing was close to the pine tar down the handle, but he hit it just soft enough for it to fall in. That's a big 2-out hit that the Twins have really been missing.
Wilson providing the hit, and Cologne joining in the applause, clapping into his glove.
You know, that's a pitch that used to drive me crazy when I pitched. When I got a guy who broke a bat and he looped one over an infielder. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized if it was 2 inches lower, it would have been a ground ball broken bat. But the fact that I got it up made it in the air.
Hit right at Chu. The Twins break through in the 5th with a run. That's 1-0.
Each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Bobby Wilson delivering the 2-out RBI hit to give the Twins a 1-0 lead. And Jose Berrios now handed the lead, having retired 6 men in a row. He hasn't given up a hit since Beltre's 2-out single in the first inning. And he'll face Profar, Mazara, and Beltre here in the 6th.
And that last inning was huge for him. It's going to allow him to pitch deeper in this ball game. He had a quick inning to keep his pitch count a little more in the respectable range now.
Breaking ball over for strike 1 to Profar, who's already struck out twice.
There's the pitches by inning for Jose Berrios. Is high there in the 4th inning. And to Justin's point, just 10 in the 5th.
Dozier gathers it in. 2 pitches for the first out of the 6th. Berrios gave up a double on the first pitch, but pitched around that jam and has pitched very well again here today.
Yeah, 10 strikeouts in this game today, and he's throwing his breaking ball for a strike, getting swings and misses. He's throwing his fastball for a strike, getting swings and misses. And other than pitch count, it's been fun to watch here today. Pitch count's always a concern with anybody, but because of his strikeouts and the fact that he's got 2 walks, you know, he's only given up 2 hits, so haven't seen a lot of extra base batters. And yet his pitch count is maybe an inning away from saying goodbye.
10 strikeouts and just 3 well hit balls. The double, Beltre's ground ball hit, and then Chu's line drive that ended the 5th. 1 strike to Mazara. And another foul.
Yeah, and as much as we like those strikeouts, those quick outs are huge for him, especially the last couple innings.
I think the sooner you learn that as a pitcher, the better your career is going to be. You know, everybody thinks strikeouts are cool, but when you start thinking that 2 strikeouts are cool, you're on track for a good career.
And there's certain guys you can get out in a couple pitches, and there's certain guys that require more pitches because you have to make higher quality pitches. You know, to Joe Mauer, you know it's probably going to be a 5-pitch at bat because he's not going to help you out at all swinging at anything out of the zone. And then there's guys that you know if you make a good pitch, you can get them out. Some guys you have to make perfect or great pitches, and then there's some guys that you give them a little movement, you give them a little something different, and you can get them out quickly.
2-2 now to Mazara.
I found myself late in my career that if I had a nice lead and those kind of guys came up, and I knew it was going to be a 6, 7, 8 pitch at bat, and if they couldn't run it all, somehow the slider always found their shirt, jersey, kneecap somewhere. You know, 1 pitch and clog up the bases is way better than 9 pitches and you're on base anyway.
Breaking ball missing. Now it's a full count to Mazara. Berrios has walked 2.
Yeah, it's going to take 3 hits to score that guy if he's on first.
Yeah. Like I said, if they were poor runners, boy, that ball's hit hard.
To Escobar, though. 2 down. Let's go to Kevin Gord.
Our showstopper takes us to Fort Myers, guys. We check in on youngster Alex Kirilloff, 20 years old, a former first-round pick back in 2016. 3 for 5 with a double and an RBI Saturday against Bradenton after a big game on Friday. Now 8 for 18 with 6 RBIs since getting called into action for the Miracle in Fort Myers.
Lands in Fort Myers and is already looking forward to Chattanooga the way he's swinging the bat.
He's one of those guys down there that everybody in the organization is very excited that he's got a, or hopefully we'll have a Twins uniform on one day.
Derek Falvey saying they're going to run him out there and give him some time in center field, in addition to playing the corner outfield, which he's done. 1 strike to Beltre. Fouled, and it's 2 strikes.
The way today's game's going now, I don't see any reason why in the minor leagues, if a guy's capable of it or looks like he's capable of it, try him in all the outfield positions, because you don't know what he's going to be when he gets to the big leagues. But also have him take ground balls at second or wherever, where it just adds to the value of the player. I mean, you see it now. So many guys are able to move around the diamond, and it's extending their careers.
Breaking ball 2 feet outside, 1-2.
Berrios has failed to get out Beltre here. First inning hit, and then a walk in the 4th. And he can extend another inning, I think, if he could just get him to swing and miss right here.
but that's been an issue.
Yeah, it's hard. This guy is a professional hitter. All right, so forget the swing and miss. How about a ground ball? Or how about a pop-up?
Yeah, a well-located breaking ball.
Just get an out right here. No more pitches. Keep that pitch count under 100, and Paul might give him the 7th.
Strikes out about 1 every 5 times.
There it is.
That was the 1 in 5 times. A 1-2-3-6 for Berrios, and he holds on to that 1-0 lead.
Number 11 for Jose.
And powered by Ram trucks, built to serve. Eddie Rosario on the first pitch gets his 2nd hit of the ball game. And he has swung at 2 first pitch offerings from Cologne in his last 2 at bats and gotten 2 hits.
Kind of similar to his last at bat. Cologne just throws that sinking fastball, and Rosario goes down and pulls this ball. Get another look at it here shortly. Actually, it's out of the zone, but does that surprise anybody in this booth?
It's out of the rule book strike zone. That is well within Eddie Rosario's strike zone. Yeah, that's right. Here's Escobar. That kicks away, and this time Rosario will go to second. He was picked off by the catcher on a ball that was in the dirt in the 4th inning. And ball 1 now to Escobar. No activity in the Texas bullpen. Only 57 pitches thrown by Cologne.
Wild pitch there.
This is one of those situations where you want to make if you're going to make an out, you want to make a productive out right here. You're not saying I'm going to roll over to second right here. You're trying to drive something from center field to the right field line.
And Escobar leans across the plate and takes ball 2. You know, one of the great things, you know, we've got Eddie Rosario from Puerto Rico, Escobar from Venezuela. I love learning about the cultures and all that. Now we got Justin Morneau up here, and I'm going to allow our fans to learn something about the Canadian culture here. I have a sweet gherkin in front of me here, but what do you call them?
Cornichon.
Cornichon. Now, is that French?
Yep.
It is.
Well, it's not Spanish.
Well, but I've never heard that before. A sweet gherkin is a Cornichon?
Yeah, baby pickle.
Okay. All right. Well, now we've learned something, haven't we?
Now everyone that speaks French is going to tell us that's not right, but in my mind, it's right.
Do you like Cornichons?
Sure.
Do you? Oh.
Who doesn't?
Be my guest.
I don't like the one that you had your hands all over. But
well, now 3-0, and Cologne, who's been razor sharp with
we gotta have you stick around a little bit more, because this is becoming a lot of fun here.
Even more fun when he hits a 3-0 homer right here.
He'll take ball 4 and fill first base instead.
I want you to see all the different uniforms in the major leagues that Bartolo Colon has played for. Cleveland, Montreal, Chicago.
Both
Angels.
Chicago's.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. The
Boston,
Sox twice.
Chicago again, then New York. Oh, I haven't even caught up. And there's a few more. We didn't have enough room to put it on.
12 different teams.
You know, that alone is amazing to me. I mean, once you leave your first club, I think it's always a fantasy. Is there any way I could play for everybody?
Must have a lot of wall space to hang up all those jerseys.
Oh, my. What a neat trophy room you must have.
But you know what? That many teams don't pick you up if you're a bad guy or a bad teammate.
No.
You know, he's doing a lot of things right if that many teams are willing to bring him in.
Dozier bluffed a bunt, took a strike. First and second, nobody out. Here in the 6th. Popped up, backing out of play. 2 strikes.
Brian's got a little bit of room right now between third and short. He doesn't always have that because they shift him so often. But he's also got some room between first and second because both the shortstop, second baseman are keeping Rosario close at second base.
Driven to left. Chu is there for the catch, and Dozier just flings his bat away in disgust. Put the barrel on it for the first out, and the runners are still at first and second. Tomorrow, the World Cup continues on Fox and FS1 with a full slate of matches. It all kicks off at 8 a.m. Central with Uruguay taking on Russia, and then Ronaldo and Portugal face Iran. World Cup on Fox and FS1. Stream it live on the Fox Sports app. One down, and now Logan Morrison. Morrison with a line drive single to right. His first at bat, then he had a fly ball to left with a runner at second and 2 down in the 4th.
I feel like that was a mistake base running right there at second base. That ball's hitting the air and you're on second base. There's nobody out. Your first move should be back towards the base. He ended up halfway. Well, if he ends up getting turned around or he ends up catching that ball over his shoulder and he's not in a good position to throw, you can tag up on that ball. Just because the ball's hit to left doesn't mean you can't tag up on it.
Morrison chips it foul.
Now, he was behind that ball. He played it correctly. But if something happens, your job as a base runner is to try and find a way, be aggressive, get to the next base instead of just conceding that you don't put any pressure on the defense when you hop out there in the middle and you don't do it. Just because the hitter didn't do his job doesn't mean you don't look for some way to take advantage of that fielder if he's not in the right position.
You think there's any thought process for Eddie? He already made a mistake, so he doesn't want to do it. He's going to play the conservative route there. On that particular, because he's been aggressive. He has tagged in that play before.
And he knows that he can't. But if the ball gets over his head, you're either going to score or you have the bases loaded and nobody out.
Right.
It's different with 1 out or 2 outs. You play that differently. But with nobody out and the ball's in the air to the outfield, your job as a base runner is to find a way or try and get to third base. Now, on that ball, he wouldn't have. But if something happens like the ball to Shields yesterday, dives in the gap, he falls down, you can tag up on that ball.
Yeah. 1 and 2 to Morrison. 2 and 2.
Well, it obviously make a difference if you're standing at third base right now with 1 out. Morrison lifts the ball to the outfield, you got to run.
Infield in, maybe. You never know.
Yeah.
A lot easier to score from third than it is from second.
Yeah.
When you make outs on the bases, those are the glaring mistakes, but there are a lot of other mistakes.
Well, it's easy to be a tentative base runner because you don't make any mistakes.
Right.
Or you don't glaring mistakes, like you said.
2 and 2 to Morrison. And now 3 and 2. Grossman on deck.
Still no activity in the Rangers' pen.
The guy's got it out in the 6th inning, and he hasn't thrown 70 pitches yet. And it took a broken bat, base hit by the number 9 batter to get the Twins the run that they've got. Full count to Morrison. Tap foul. Morrison, the designated hitter. And an opportunity here in the 6th to do some damage with 2 men on and 1 out. Another 3-2 from Cologne. Got him on the inside corner, 2 down.
That's the one you can't give up on, right? I mean, the ball's going to tail back over the inside part of the plate.
And his command is just, it's like he can put the ball where he wants to, and he knows. He's obviously reading hitters. That ball starts on the white line of the batter's box inside and just runs right back over and catches the corner of the plate. He'll go back, think it wasn't a strike. He'll go check the video and look at it and go, that was right there. I couldn't have done anything with it, but it was still a strike.
Grossman to left field, a base hit. Rosario around third, he'll score. Escobar scampers to third, and Grossman comes up with another big hit here in the 6th.
Second hit of the ball game for Robbie Grossman. It's an important one. He's got a double to lead off the 5th inning and end up scoring on a single by Bobby Wilson. Now he gets an RBI of his own, driving in Eddie Rosario for the 2nd run for the Twins. Another sinking fastball, runs away from him, but he stays with it and drives the ball past Jurickson at shortstop.
And another big 2-out hit. And Kepler will have a chance with runners on the corners and 2 down. No pop-up. And who wants it? And it's Beltre with a basket catch in foul territory. The Twins get 2 singles and a walk and another run in the 6th.
Of our armed services and their families from Twins territory. They are invited to play catch on the field with the Twins and the coaches prior to this afternoon's game. And, you know, it's family day at the park. A lot of the players and coaches bring their kids. They were involved, so everybody had a great time. And Hope Week, a tremendous success for the Twins once again this week.
A tremendous event. Thank you, Kevin. That was just fun to watch, being up in the booth here and watching the kids run around on the field. And very memorable Sunday morning for everybody involved. Odor drops down a bunt and it hits the edge of the grass for Berrios. Whoa! And Maurer doesn't hang on to it. What an incredible play by Berrios, with Odor dropping down a nearly perfect bunt.
That was an incredible play. And I think Joe was so surprised how quickly he got rid of it and threw a strike that it clanked off the back of his hand, kind of on the heel of his glove. Let's just watch this again. How quickly he gets down and slides, and then Joe stretching a little to his left. What a play.
Should be an error on Mauer, I would think. A perfect throw, and it looked like the ball maybe even hit his right hand. They give him a base hit, but it's a tremendous play by Berrios. And now Gallo will bat. Chasing a high pitch. And it's one strike. My goodness, I still can't believe what I saw. To be able to pick up the ball and make a throw that long, that strong, in time to get a speedy runner.
And an unbelievably quick release.
One strike to Gallo.
Yeah, that's as good a play as any pitcher's ever going to make, because that was perfectly placed. That's, I mean, if you draw it up on a chalkboard, that's exactly where you want a guy to bunt a ball. For
Presley and Duke warming up with Berrios over 100 pitches, and now a breaking ball, and Gallo missed that by about 2 feet. I thought when the ball was rolling up the line, the only chance they might have is it hitting the edge of the grass and then rolling foul, but there's still a foot of dirt between the grass and the foul line. 2 strikes to Gallo. Berrios has already struck out a career high 11 this afternoon. And Gallo got a piece. The Twins team record for strikeouts in a game, 17 on a Sunday afternoon back in 2006 against the Texas Rangers. On a Sunday afternoon, Johan Santana did it. Berrios won't have the opportunity to do that, and Gallo becomes strikeout victim number 12, a new career high for Berrios.
another back foot slider. Well placed pitch right there by Berrios. Gets another swing and a miss.
Replay brought to you by Carrier. So one down, one on, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. At the knees, strike one.
Well, I know he'd like to continue on with his strikeout trend here, but a quick double play ball right here, and I think Paul will be very, very happy with his outing. Get off the field and still have a 2-run lead. The bullpen will only have to work a pair of innings. It'll be a great outing for Jose. There it is.
Berrios fields, fires. Adrianza makes the play at second base, and they get their double play, and another great fielding play by number 17. And
Just
a
very
great athletic play again by Berrios.
Yeah, he's got to go to his right. He almost stumbles, but then he's got to throw a strike, and he does that. Little confusion at second base is who's going to cover. But a great strong throw there again by Adrianza.
And with the Twins leading 2-0, we pause now for God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Well, Bobby Wilson gets the Twins on the board first with a base hit to left, and that scores Robbie Grossman after he had a double, a leadoff double, and then Grossman gets in on the act himself with single, scoring Rosario. It's been quite a pitching duel, the old guy and the young guy, but Jose Berrios, career high 12 strikeouts today. He's been very, very sharp. He's only allowed a pair of hits. That was back in the first inning. He walked a couple guys, but then he helps himself with a tremendously athletic play, a 1-6-3 double play, and he comes off the field pretty pumped up.
And Berrios with a career high in strikeouts, a chance for win number 8. And in one inning, he showed his great athleticism on the mound. We've talked for the last couple of years how good Kyle Gibson is at fielding his position. But my goodness, Berrios was just brilliant, not just in the pitching of the baseball, but fielding it in that 7th inning. Here is Adrianza. First pitch, a high fly to center, and he's hit it to about the same spot as he did in the 5th with the same result, 1 away. That'll bring up Wilson. The 2018 Camping World MLB All-Star Ballot is now open and exclusively online. Make sure your favorite Twins are represented on this year's team by voting at twinsbaseball.com/vote. Catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 17th live on Fox. Not sure why they don't allow the fans to vote for the pitchers, but Berrios is making a very strong case that he should go. He's going to have among the best ERAs the rate he's going at the All-Star break. And then you're looking at Rosario and or Escobar.
You know, it's not a popularity contest for pitchers, and you earn it as a pitcher. Managers have input, and whoever's managing the game will ask all the managers, what do you see in our pitching staff?
Right.
Who are the guys? And I got to believe he's going to get some consideration, no question.
2 strikes now to Bobby Wilson. Twins have 7 hits. Wilson's broken bat RBI single in the 5th might be the biggest one. Broke the ice and gave the Twins a 1-0 lead. They've since doubled that. 0-2 from Colon. Just his 77th pitch thrown. When you are as efficient as he's been and as good as he's been, my goodness, why would Jeff Bannister even think of taking him out when he can give his bullpen a day off?
Well, he really does show how you don't have to exert yourself. This is a great example about the art of pitching. You know, he's had a couple very quick innings.
0-2. And the first baseman, Guzman, will make the catch 2 away.
This is a flashback last September. The Twins celebrate Big Sexy Night, and that's a nickname that man on the mound, Bartolo Colon, has somehow coined and embraced. People love him for an unorthodox looking big sexy body, but it made it fun. He was a joy to be a part of the Twins. The fans embraced him, and I'm sure the Ranger fans are doing the same thing now in Texas.
Apparently it was Noah Syndergaard who gave Colon that nickname, and when he passed Marichal, and I knew he was going to pitch against the Twins, I thought, well, now Marichal's nickname was the Dominican Dandy, so we need to come up with a nickname for Colon since Colon passed Marichal. But how can you beat the Big Sexy? Well, and that's one of the great nicknames in baseball history.
Yeah, I think that's going to stick. I mean, I've been called 100,000 things, nothing stuck, but that one would stick.
The GOAT, the greatest of all time in Dominican lore in terms of major league wins. He is that, the greatest of all time. 0-2 to Mauer. And a ball. All right, since you're going to the Hall of Fame, does he have the cred to get into the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Without question, he has the cred, but he's got a cloud hanging over him, and that's PEDs. And I don't know what will become of that down the road for any of these guys that, in my opinion, have the credibility. But I'm not a fan of cheating.
1-2. On the ground, Beltran gobbles it up. And Colon in the 7th inning has a 1-2-3 inning.
America's Studio Sports Update. One of the best sluggers of all time hit his first home run on this date in 1955. Harmon Killebrew hit his first Major League home run. He did it with the Washington Senators, of course. He hit that home run off Billy Heft at Griffith Stadium in Washington, D.C. Tigers won the game, but that's how it all started for the Killer.
Harmon had to hit it a long way in his career, and because he had to, because down the line at Griffith Stadium it was 405. And
sounds like another great ballpark.
Harmon said he signed with the Senators and saw Griffith Stadium, and then early on in his career, one of the first road trips took him to Fenway Park, and he said, why didn't I sign with Boston? Staring at that big green wall. Trevor Hildenberger into the ball game to pitch to the Rangers in the 8th, and there's strike one. Might be the last fastball that Guzman sees.
Well, a huge insurance run in the bottom half of the 6th inning. 2-run lead now.
And a changeup. Hook to Dozier. One away. With the Minnesota Lottery, every day is game day, and today's Minnesota Lottery winners circle features Jesse with Rod Carew, who won $100 in scratch tickets. Are you up for fun? Say, I'm in. So Hildenberger gets the first out on his second pitch, and now he'll pitch to DeShields. Indians beat Detroit 12-2, so the Twins need to win here to stay 8 games back, and the Indians have figured something out ever since the Twins.
Yeah, they haven't lost a game since the Twins left Cleveland.
Right. That was Twins had a chance for that sweep a week ago today. Ground ball to short. Fielded by Adrianza. 2 away. Join Fox Sports North at the next viewing party on Wednesday, June 27th, beginning at 6:30 p.m. at Wild Boar Bar and Grill in Oakdale. You can watch the Twins take on the White Sox, enjoy drink specials, register for tickets and prizes and more. Visit foxsportsnorth.com/events for details. I told you yesterday I might walk around the ballpark. I do that occasionally, particularly towards the end of a homestand. I do it for very selfish reasons. I like to see the excitement fans have when they get in the ballpark. And I walked down to right field where the Fox Sports North, the pre and post game studio is, and we talked about them giving away prizes, and I saw the prizes they were giving away, and there were bags and there were can coolers and all that. I did not see a Lamborghini out there.
Didn't see the bar of gold either?
No, the bar of gold. There is a white car parked out there. I don't think Fox Sports North is giving that away, but anyway, give away or come to the aforementioned bar on Wednesday and you'll get some prizes. Who knows what they'll be. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Trevor Hildenberger has really done a nice job here for the last 3 weeks, I would say, for the Twins, and he's kind of become that setup man for Fernando Rodney. You see the movement of that last pitch. He's found the strike zone. That's something that kind of eluded him early, and his velocity is something that is very deceptive. He can touch the mid-90s with his fastball, but great off-speed pitches. That's his bread and butter go-to pitch, is his off-speed breaking ball.
Well, we've seen in recent years in the All-Star games, people with Hildenberger's job description get some consideration, and Trevor should get some because he's been really, really good, and he has a really, really good 8th inning.
for Twins Live presented by CenturyLink. We'll break down an outstanding performance by Jose Berrios, 7 strong innings today. We'll also show you how the Twins have used clutch 2-out hitting to build this 2-run lead. We'll bring you inside the manager's office. We'll hear from Paul Mauter about this game and look forward to that nice long road trip that lies ahead. And as a bonus, Prism Research brings you the Twins' final pitch today. We wrap up this series. We look forward to Chicago and the Twins on the road, and all that can be found on our Fox Sports North Facebook page by going to foxsportsnorth.com. Enjoy.
Thank you, Kevin. And the Twins finally knocked Bartolo Colon out of the game. They did nothing of the sort, of course, as he was really good for 7 innings, but Alex Claudio does come out of the Texas pen.
It was fun watching Bartolo compete today. He gave his team a chance. Only 2 runs across home plate. It's a 2-0 game, and unfortunately his mound opponent was up for the task and pitched a little bit better.
It wasn't the first 2-out RBI hit that the Twins have had in the month of June, but it seemed that way when Wilson gave the Twins a 1-0 lead, and then the Twins got another 2-out hit from Grossman to double it. And one of the issues for the Twins, 2-out hitting. The Twins got 2 big ones in this game to score a couple of runs against Cologne. Now 1-1 to Rosario.
Eddie's having another nice game. A pair of hits, a run scored.
Hacked foul. Rosario started the day 7th in the American League in hitting. Tied for 8th in the league in runs batted in. He 11th in the league in home runs. In addition to being on a pace to drive in more than 100, he scored his 54th run of the year in the 6th inning. So he's on a pace to score more than 100 as well. I guess what we're trying to say is, as much as the team has struggled, this guy has checked all of the boxes.
Yeah, we've talked about it I don't know how many times about where would they be without Rosario and Escobar, and you know they're still depending on them till guys get healthy and start producing.
1-2. And he swung the pitch about a foot outside, 1 away. And that'll bring up Escobar.
Well, sometimes if you're going to get Rosario out, you got to throw it in the other batter's box. And he went up there to hit.
Escobar will have the advantage of hitting right-handed against Claudio. And fouled back. 1 strike. I did not get a chance to talk to Eduardo this morning about right-handed hitting versus left, but again a couple days ago, right after he got drilled in the elbow, he said it really hurt to swing right-handed. That looked like a pretty good swing. He just fouled it back. Check swing. 1-1. Waiting, and another full swing. 1-2.
Claudio showing a really good off-speed pitch. Showed one to Rosario, and this one Escobar down and away. A really good changeup.
And he might have hung that one. 68 miles per hour.
Patience. You got to show patience. And then adjust to that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Welcome to the big leagues.
To no one's surprise, Fernando Rodney warming up. Fouled away. Well, the Twins bring in their right-handed sidewinder, if I can even use that term, Hildenberger. The Rangers counter with a guy who kind of does the same thing with his other arm. And a pitch inside. Escobar pops it up weakly to Profar. Out number 2. Sanford Health injury report. Phil Hughes, who was pitching out of the Padre bullpen, has a right rhomboid strain, and Twins traded him in late May. Been in 8 games, didn't pitch particularly well, but did have 11 strikeouts in 8 2/3 innings. Now, quick, don't Google it. What's a rhomboid?
It's something that'll keep you out of the lineup if you have a strain. I have no clue what a rhomboid is.
I should know this. I took anatomy in 9th grade.
You should. No excuses. I'm a little disappointed.
1 strike to Dozier. Right now my Twitter feed's probably lit up with all sorts of insults and explanations as to what a rhomboid is. Hope it's not in the rib cage area, because that's been the area of concern for Phil. What's interesting is the truck puts that on the graphic, and I asked the question publicly, what's a rhomboid? Nobody from the truck knows either.
Well, that's not overly shocking. I'm thinking about that old song, you know, the ankle bones connected to the.
There's a drive deep to the right field corner. And it's a foul ball. Not much foul territory down there, but Brian's been struggling, and struggling hitters sometimes find foul territory where hardly any exists.
Well, there's just been a lot of weight on Brian Dozier's shoulders here. He's been pressing. He's probably second guessing so many things right now, but for whatever reason, it's been a tough battle here for quite some time for Brian.
2-2. Up the middle, and Dozier will get a base hit, and he raises his right fist in triumph. Hit the ball hard as last time. A frustrating at bat in the 6th, but now he gets a 2-out single.
Yeah, it's got to feel good for Brian. He's just been fighting it so much. And a simple little ground ball up the middle. Gets a good result. Nice crowd again today. 23,633 in attendance.
Did you know that you had both a major and a minor rhomboid?
I knew that, but I didn't want to talk about anatomy.
Both rhomboids, the major and the minor, act to retract the scapula, pulling it towards the vertebral column. They work collectively with the levator scapulae muscles to elevate the medial border of the scapula, downwardly rotating the scapula with respect to the glenohumeral joint.
You know, I am now going to be able to sleep well. Because that was so much on my mind.
Well, you've got 2 of them, and here we didn't know that we even had 1 of them. For all I know, you might have 3 of them. I've got 2 of them. Want to know?
I don't know as though you know you have 2. You just read something that you Googled.
Right. It used to be, you know, if you had a bad back, which is apparently what Phil has, and it's, I guess, directly or indirectly connected to, you know, the rib cage and that whole area, which has given him so much trouble, that you had a bad back. And if you had an elbow problem, you had a sore elbow, you didn't have a torn ulnar collateral ligament. Swing and a miss. 2-1 to Morrison.
Well, even though Logan got a base hit in the 1st inning, he's kind of like Dozier. They're both just so lost right now, and you know, a few hits in a row would remind them they're big league players and that they could go out and do damage, and they're searching for it so hard.
2-1. Now 2-2. Twins would like to get an insurance run or two here in the 8th. Dozier kind of an awkward retreat to first base. Didn't know whether to dive or stand up, and he kind of did something in between.
Yeah, he almost got caught in between there. He was not getting a big lead, so he figured, you know, he could just scoot back and stay up. And then the throw was kind of towards him, so he had to move out of the way too.
And Morrison strikes out to end the inning. To the ninth, Fernando Rodney will try to save a 2-0 Twins win.
Twins, top of the ninth. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions to this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Minnesota Twins.
Fernando Rodney will come in and try to save a 2-0 win for the Twins, and he'll face Profar, Mazzara, and Beltre in the ninth.
Couple changes. Ryan Lamar in center field. Max Kepler will shift over and play right field. Robbie Grossman out of the game.
And Profar 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts will face Rodney. The extra inning that Berrios was able to give the Twins today was huge, because it allowed the Twins to set up their 2 surest things out of the bullpen, Hildenberger in the 8th and this guy in the 9th.
They've both been very good. Rodney has just been outstanding for the Twins as of late, and he's not really getting in any panic situations, which we saw early in the year for Fernando. But with an off day tomorrow, that really sets up the bullpen for the series in Chicago too, if he can have an efficient 9th inning.
Profar down to a knee, way out in front of the changeup. 0-2.
This is his classic changeup. Just a nice tailing changeup down and away. Great spot.
Ooh. And that ball landed about 3 feet in front of the plate, and Wilson took it on the bare hand or wrist. 1-2. And now 2-2.
Now 3 straight changeups. Does he have it in him to throw 4 in a row. Will he go up in the zone with a fastball here? Pretty much fastball changeup guy.
Changeup drifted outside, and Profar was able to check. Any base runner will get the tying run to the plate. So Rodney, who's missed with a couple of changeups now in this at bat, might come back with a fastball. 3-2. Mazara on deck. There's a changeup, and Profar looked like he was chopping wood. 1 down in the 9th.
Well, in his last 19 games, Fernando Rodney has been perfect. 14 out of 14 in save opportunities. Unbelievably good ERA. Opponent batting average just doesn't really exist. $1.41. And he's been efficient. Quick outs. So 5-pitch out there. Was it a 6-pitch? Was it 3-2? I don't know.
It was 3-2. There's strike 1 to Mazara. Importantly, Profar didn't get on base, so Mazara doesn't represent the tying run. And even when he's given up runs, he's given up runs with the Twins. He hasn't given up leads when he's given up runs. 0-2.
You know, I go back to the blown save that he had in New York, where Gary Sanchez, and I've said it, he threw the perfect pitch. It was a fastball in, off the plate in. Sanchez just opened up, wheeled on it. I don't know how he kept it fair, cost the Twins a ball game, but he's been so good ever since.
1-2. And what has been a pleasant surprise for me, and I think for a lot of Twins fans, the number of 1, 2, 3 innings that he has had in save situations. I think we anticipated the bases would be littered with runners in his saves, the successful ones even. But he's been pretty efficient out there. And he gets a strikeout of Mazara, 2 away.
Back-to-back strikeouts, this time with a fastball up out of the zone.
Two down, and now Beltre trying to keep the game alive for the Rangers. Just missed the outside corner. Beltre with a single. Best chance the Rangers had of scoring came on Beltre's 2-out single. Chu held at third base on the single to left field. Now 2-0. Beltre walked in the 4th and struck out in the 6th. Well, 3-0. Odor on deck if Beltre should reach.
I still want to come back and challenge Beltre here. You know, you just never want to put the tying run at the plate.
Well, the beauty of that second run, when you can pitch with a 2-run lead in a situation like this, go ahead and challenge him, right?
Yep. Make him hit the ball. He might just get himself out. That used to be automatic. 3-0.
Fouled away. The first pitch called a strike, I think, because Rodney is older than Beltre. I mean, you have to tip your cap to seniority, right?
Not a whole lot of better reasons for that call than that one, I guess.
By a couple of years. 3-2. A 1-2-3 ninth inning. Rodney strikes out the side, and the Twins win the series finale.
Well, a must win for the Twins. After losing the first 2 to Texas, they come back and stop Texas's win streak, and it was all because of the pitching today. Jose Berrios combined with Trevor Hildenberger and Fernando Rodney to pitch a great ball game. Anytime you get a shutout after a team's been scoring a lot of runs, you got to feel pretty good about it.
Well, Anthony, the homestand started out with a couple of impressive wins, and it ends with an impressive win, but nevertheless a 3-3 homestand.
Yeah, the Twins salvage the final one here today and avoid the sweep at the hands of the Rangers. Jose Berrios was brilliant today. We'll break down his performance, show you how the Twins took advantage of clutch two-out hitting. And here for Paul Molitor, all next on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink.